No primeiro episódio, visitamos o Museu Marítimo de Rotterdam e conhecemos histórias de mulheres incríveis e pioneiras. Entendemos que a memória precisa de espaço para existir, para a gente não esquecer aquelas que vieram antes de nós e abriram caminho. E não dá para falar de gênero sem falar de diversidade, que é a característica incomum das cidades mais prósperas e inventivas do mundo, como Rotterdam, que é conhecida como a cidade mais original da Holanda. São mais de 170 nacionalidades coexistindo e trabalhando juntas. Pessoas de origens e repertórios diferentes, com múltiplos olhares que trazem soluções inovadoras, ajudando a construir a riqueza dessa cidade portuária. Até na hora de contar a história da imigração, Rotterdam tem um jeito inovador de preservar a memória. O Museu Fênix, um museu de arte moderna dedicado à imigração, localizado na península de Katendrecht, em um antigo armazém de mais de 100 anos. E é essa Rotterdam da diversidade e da inovação que você vai ver a partir de agora no segundo episódio da terceira temporada do Lendárias e Portuárias, um projeto incentivado pela Deep World através da Lei Municipal de Apoio à Cultura Alcides Mesquita, o Promicult, e também apoiado pela Abtra. Hoje a gente vai conhecer um lugar que é uma das melhores traduções do que é Rotterdam. Um dos pontos de convergência entre Porto, Cidade, Inovação e Prosperidade. A gente vai conhecer o PortXL, um hub de inovação que é a primeira aceleradora de startups marítimas e portuárias do mundo. O programa de inovação da PortXL está diretamente ligado ao programa de carbono zero e de transição energética, além de ajudar a acelerar processos de sustentabilidade. E adivinha, a CEO é uma mulher. Eu converso com a Christel Pullens. Sobre a sua liderança, o PortXL celebrou 10 anos em 2025, acelerando mais de 130 startups com taxa de sobrevivência de 85%, focando em energia verde, um elemento essencial para cidades inteligentes, além de logística e inovação sustentável. A nossa conversa foi uma verdadeira aula. Christel.
Cabeça has head, right?
Yeah, your Portuguese is really good. Christel, it's so good to have you here. Thank you for opening this time in your busy schedule. I love to be in this place because it's so much inspiring for innovation and for practical things that we can do in Brazil. As I told you, I come from Santos city that you have already been there.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah. How many years? When have you been there?
I think around 2006, 2007.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a while, right?
It's time to come back.
Be my guest, please. So, Christel, you're the director of PortXL. It's an accelerator. So, I'd love to know more about your story. How did you match this career into port, maritime area, matching this with innovation? Because it's such an inspiration for women that want to enter this industry in Brazil.
Yeah, it's a long story.
Yeah.
But, I will give you the short version. So, I grew up in a small town, close to a foundry of lips, where they casted big propellers for ocean-going vessels. And as a young girl, I really wanted to see the world. And I knew that Lips had branches all over the world, also Lips do Brasil.
Okay.
So I applied there as a trainee, hoping that they would send me to Lips do Brasil. But they sent me to Lips Belgium, which is a neighboring country of the Netherlands, to a shipyard.
Okay.
And that was, I think, 29 years ago. And I'd never been to a shipyard before, but I walked into the shipyard and I just knew that this was going to be my life. And I never did something else.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And then over the years, I got more and more responsibility in my roles, always a mix of technical and commercial roles, until I ended up in a board position.
Okay.
And then I thought, well, now I can finally, change the company and steer towards like more sustainability, more innovation. But I really struggled to get the message across. Okay. So in COVID times, I started to study again on Cambridge University on business sustainability management, like how can you still run a company in a sustainable way and make profit, because otherwise you cease to exist.
Yeah.
And from then on, with what I learned there, I decided that I only wanted to do impact-driven work. So first I became a director of the Sea Ranger Service, an organization that tries to protect the oceans all over the world, where you see a lot of involvement also from women.
Yeah.
Because when it's about impact, you often see that women are much more engaged there.
It's amazing that it's worldwide, because I see exactly what happens in Brazil, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so the Sea Ranger Service was a startup that turned into a scale-up. And then I thought I want to do more of that. So not only help one company, but help several companies that really want to change the industry in a positive way. And that's how I ended up here.
Amazing. What do you do at PortXL? What's your role? What's the impact you feel every day working in such a place like this?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, we are an accelerator for startups and scale-ups in the maritime and port industry, also offshore wind related. So basically we scout promising startups and scale-ups from all over the world.
Perfect.
And we do that on a yearly basis. So in the beginning of each year we start scouting.
Okay.
Then they go into a very strict selection process where we look at the technology. Is it something really new, or is it just an improvement of something that's been done before? What is the company like? Where are they in their development? What are they doing right now? Did they already get funding or not? And based on a lot of criteria, let's say around 10 to 15 startups end up in our acceleration program every year.
Every year.
And that runs from September till the end of November.
Okay.
So right now we're in the middle of the program.
Oh my God.
And the goal of the program is a pilot, because we really want to do something. So not just offer them knowledge, but also make sure that actually something is started. So that's what we work towards. So in those 3 months, we try to create a pressure cooker, set them up for success. And then at the end of the program, we celebrate like, hey, this is the cohort. This is when they came in and this is what they have achieved. And then we round off the year, and then the next year we start all over again.
And what impressed me is that you have like a really low tax of mortality of the startups. And I understand that it's from this initiative to make things happen, right? I've heard the Dutch and Rotterdam, they like...
roll up the sleeves. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it because it's a really... also, I think a female aspect, right? Because women must do lots of this kind of work and act every day to make things happen in career, life. And it's really interesting to see the numbers you have here, and it's an accelerator. I know you have an amazing team, but led by a woman, right? And it's important for people to see that.
Yeah. And of course we welcome female entrepreneurs in particular. And it's not so easy because there are not so many of them. And the ones that are there, I think about 10% of the female founders or of all founders is women.
Yeah.
And more than 60% of them struggles with financing.
Yeah.
So here in Rotterdam, via the Erasmus Center of Entrepreneurship, there are certain programs. The program's called She Leads.
Okay.
That helps them, with finding funding, but also with mentorships.
Yeah.
So we try, to give them like extra attention, special attention.
Perfect.
But they come in at a low number, so that's where it starts, and then it becomes more difficult to help them scale. But
And it's important to look at the early stage process for women also in innovation, right? Because it's what I think She Leads does, right?
Yeah.
Because if this process doesn't happen, maybe they never reach the PortXL program to make business happen, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and if you look at women in the workplace in general,
Yeah.
so if you look at the McKinsey report, for example, on women in the workplace, you see that if you have 100 men and 100 women and each of them make their next promotion, let's say 100 men make their next promotion and only 80 women, and that continues all the way through, and you see that women drop out at basically any career step.
Yeah.
And what they do when they drop out is they often start their own business.
Yeah.
So ideally, you would like them, especially also in the Netherlands, you would like to have them to have the exact same opportunities as men. But if they at some point think, because it's always that or most of the time that they're like fed up with the situation, and then they're like, I'm going to do it on my own, that we can somehow support these female entrepreneurs better.
Yeah.
Because especially when you want to change the industry with fresh ideas and a true drive for making this world a better place, I think we heavily rely on women.
And another style of leadership that I'm not saying it's better or not, but I think women leads in a different way. And from my perspective, being I can relate totally to your story, because I was captured by the impact industry, by the impact area, and I see what the world needs now is more participation in women leadership, because it's more impact driven, because it's completely, the decision is made in a more communal way, not in a self way. And I think it's really important from what you said. You mentioned the McKinsey report, and I'm bringing up to my mind another data is that women is promoted from, women has a challenge to be promoted or to be in a position like that from what their already have achieved. So we must have track. We must have something to show. Men are promoted on their potential,
on who they know.
Exactly, and much based on their potential. So we must look at the women as a potential innovators, and that's why I think early stage is so important. Do you have any case to share about a women founder that you see here at PortXL, and you look at her and say, oh my God, this is amazing to see a woman in this position doing this kind of revolution?
Yeah, we have one in our current cohort. So probably Mitja told you a bit about them already. Yeah, and so we try to have female founders in all cohorts. And we mainly focus on technology.
Perfect.
So, of course, I have special
I know.
my heart, for female founders. But she's here because of the technology that they're developing, and that goes for all the people that are in our current cohorts.
And what do you think? What do you would do by yourself, and what have you experienced in your own career that you can give as advice for the women that watch this podcast and Lendárias and Portuárias they are following? We are in the 3rd season. So what kind of advice from your own story and your own perspective that you would like to put on table for our Brazilian women?
Yeah, well, I think women still struggle with the imposter syndrome.
Okay.
Especially when it comes to their leadership. So they're not so confident about their natural way of living, whereas men are often overcompetent.
And overconfident.
So I would say, don't listen to that voice. If you hear it in your head. And this is not the easiest industry, to work in. Yeah. So also, develop a layer of, we call it Teflon,
That's great.
So, I remember in the beginning when I started working in Brazil, for example, they would call me, and I was then still in ship's propulsion. So I had to plan dockings and maintenance, and had to make sure that all the spare parts were there in time. So then they would call me and they would say, "Can I speak to Mr. Pullens, please?"
Okay.
And then I said, "Well, there is no Mr. Pullens." And then it was quiet for a while. And then I said, "But if you need help with your propulsion system, I'm happy to help." So I think, it's sometimes still about getting over that first phase of bias, mainly.
Overcoming the bias, not listen to the voice. This is a really good advice that is always worldwide. I think we all feel the same pattern, right? Because, but I like the metaphor about Teflon layer. Put a Teflon layer, put your best Teflon dress, and go to work, right?
Yeah, and also, encourage your male colleagues, because in the beginning when I joined Desta, and I've been the president of Desta in the Netherlands for several years. I've been on the board, but when I first joined, I was a bit skeptical. Like, is this just a group of women, complaining about men?
Yeah.
And later on, I thought, do we really need? Because that's also what she leads, right? It's just women supporting women.
Yeah.
And I think if we really want to change things, we have to do it together.
I do agree.
So it's not only about women supporting each other, but also talk to your male colleagues, if they are at a network event or at a trade show, talk to the women in the room, because often they're not the first, to go out and approach a man. So make them aware of the women in the room. And for example, if they're asked to participate in a panel discussion or something, ask them like, "Hey, will there be also females in the panel?" Yeah. Because if it's a male-only panel, I'm not gonna go. Yeah.
Perfect.
And also, if you know a female expert, because what I hear from conferences, for example, is that it's often difficult to find female speakers. Yeah. Because men, even though they're not the expert on the topic, they're easier there to say yes, like, I will come. Yeah. And sometimes please step aside and promote your female colleague.
For opening spaces for women, you're absolutely right. We must have like much allies, and also men should take a look at themselves and say, I will let go a bit of my power to open the space for women. This is really important. It's exactly what we see in Brazil about panels, conferences. But Lendárias and Portuárias, we are in the 3rd season, and we already had interviewed more than 40 women. They are experts in their field. So just take a look. Yeah, they are here at Lendárias. They are anywhere in the world. So take a look at our list, and you are going to find a speaker, a panelist, a person for your podcast. There are amazing women working on maritime and port areas, doing amazing jobs. Since for port captains to women, I don't know the word in English, but it's capatazia, the women that gets the ship and roll the ship into the port. What's the translation?
We use a Dutch word for that.
Really?
But it's not related to that at all.
Oh, okay. It's called capatazia. We have women with strong arms doing that, right?
Yeah.
So tell me, what were...
We call them rowers. But they don't, I mean, I think in the past they used to have these little boats to row there.
Oh, no, it's not a little boat. It's the ones that get...
but to attach the rope.
Yeah, that's attach the rope.
They were in this little boat, so that's why we still call them the rowers.
I understand. Yeah. Great. And I would love to ask you, do you live in Rotterdam?
No.
Okay, where do you live?
In the south of the Netherlands.
In the south of the Netherlands.
But just sorry to interrupt.
Okay, no.
One more thing that I wanted to mention, because I'm not sure if you are aware of that.
Okay.
Desta has developed together with IMO an initiative on female speakers.
Yeah.
So it's a website where you can
find the women, right?
Also, as a woman, I would like to encourage all of them to sign up. So you can sign yourself up there.
Okay.
I think it's called Maritime Speakers, but I'm sure
I never heard
of it. You can find it and add the link to the podcast. So it's an initiative of women or of Desta and the IMO.
Okay.
And there you can shortly present yourself, tell them what your area of expertise is.
Okay.
And then conference organizers looking for speakers can access that database.
Great.
So that's also a good opportunity.
I don't know if you have something like this in Brazil, but it's a good idea. For Desta worldwide?
Yeah, for all, and not just for Desta.
Okay.
For all women worldwide.
Okay.
Yeah,
but so it's an initiative from Desta and
Desta International and the IMO.
Okay. Perfect.
And you can just list the countries there where you would
like got it. Perfect.
Yeah. So if it's for you, maybe all over Latin America, it depends on your willingness to travel.
We are going to put this link in the if you're seeing through YouTube, in the description in above. So I didn't ask you for following this channel and for liking if you like this episode, so don't forget to do that. And I would love to ask you told you don't live in Rotterdam,
no,
but
I live in the south.
In the south.
Yeah.
But I'd love to hear from your perspective, because we are discussing a lot in Santos the relationship between the port and the city. And for me, is there a great metaphor between a wedding? If we have a great wedding between the port and the city, everybody gets happy. And if this wedding is not well solved, if the city has the back to the port, and we have lots of problems that came with the port and came with the city. So what's your perspective? Because I see Rotterdam is doing a great job.
Yeah. Yeah, so before I lived in Antwerp, which is also basically a port in a city. And here in Rotterdam, the situation is similar.
Yeah.
Because, the Netherlands is very small. There's a very large population. So even if you would want to, you couldn't separate them.
Yeah.
It's just impossible.
Yeah.
And as PortXL, this is our 10th year of existence. And there were more, but two important founding parties were the port and the city.
Perfect.
So they have been involved in maritime innovation since we started in 2015.
Yeah.
And when you look at the topics, they have a lot in common. Because if you want to have a good functioning port, it attracts people who want to live in the city, etc. And of course, they both have very specific problems.
Yeah.
For the city, it's a couple of years ago we had a startup with focusing on dredging slurry.
Okay.
So the city has to keep like the canals open.
Yeah.
And that slurry has to go somewhere. So we had a very innovative company that used little worms to get mild pollution out of the slurry and made sure that it became soil again very quickly, much quicker than if you would just let it lie somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
But then you see the port also teaming up there with such initiatives. So in our program, they collaborate very well together.
Great.
There's a lot of contact. And also our startups come from all over the world.
Okay.
So if you look back over the years, approximately 70% comes from outside the Netherlands.
70%?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we encourage them to set up a branch or their head office in the Netherlands.
Great.
And also that's where the municipality comes in, because they have an interest in letting these young entrepreneurs land here in Rotterdam.
Perfect.
Because it creates jobs, and it also, makes sure that both port and city are well positioned also for the years ahead.
40 years ahead. This is a great point because I've heard a lot about Rotterdam, and one keyword is density, right? So the talent density is something really important to the city, and if the port can be really helpful in making the talent and the innovation more advanced in the city, it's one goal of the port relationship, port-city relationship. Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely. And for the ones coming from abroad, and also, so the ones that are coming from the Netherlands, they do not all come from Rotterdam, of course.
Yeah.
So in the program, we also try to move them around in the city. Just bring them to the Maritime Museum, where you went as well.
Yeah.
And other historic places in Rotterdam, so for networking, for drinks, but also places here in the port, as this place where we are now.
Yeah.
This is an old shipyard.
Yeah. Where SS Rotterdam was built.
SS Rotterdam was built, and there's a minor link also with Brazil, because you still have Volme shipyard there.
Yeah.
It's no longer named.
Oh, and also SS Rotterdam has been to Santos. Yeah. I have a photograph of this, and it's amazing because we see our Monte Serra, that is a really important spot in Santos. We see also Moinho Paulista, that is another really important company in Santos. So we have this picture of us. I was so happy to hear this story today. I found out this today. So.
And she's back here in Rotterdam, right?
Yeah.
It's a hotel.
As a hotel, I think it's a tour guide. There's a story
with people who used to work there.
Yeah, it's really cool, because I think as the Maritime Museum and SS Rotterdam, this is really great parts to make this marriage between port and city really happier.
Yeah, and also what I like about it. So Cornelis Volme, who founded the big Volme consortium over the years. He started here in this shipyard.
Oh.
Before he became his own boss.
Okay.
So in the past, this was a place of innovation.
Yeah.
And now they've repurposed this old shipyard, who went bankrupt somewhere in the 80s, into a place for innovation again.
Yeah.
So that's what we also try to bring across to our startups. Like, hey, this is a place where a lot of history was made, but also where you can build on the future of the industry.
And this arch is one thing that is the most important things for cities, in my perspective. Is I think Maritime Museum has the same thing. I've heard that it started on the place that was the first maritime port in Rotterdam. So it's how you can see the story alive, right? And it's important for everyone.
Yeah.
Every citizen, right?
Yeah, and especially you've probably seen that there's a big contrast here in this city. So there's still the history.
Yeah.
But also, the architecture and all the vibe,
Yeah.
So, I love Rotterdam.
Yeah, me too. I'm completely in love with Rotterdam, and I think Santos has lots of things to learn. When I heard about the canal story, it's a funny story, but Santos is divided by 7 canais. That is the main canais. That is like little veins to the city for flooding and for sanitation that was built in the beginning of the year 19 something. I think it's 1905, something like that. And one of the major women that I've seen on the Maritime Museum is called Canal.
Oh!
It's the same pronunciation. So it's a really thing. Why canal? Well, we say canal every day, but I didn't know the story. And she was a shipbuilder, entrepreneur, a woman that builds lots of ships.
Yeah.
And we cannot think, we are so biased to see that this is a male-dominated industry, that we cannot think about a women a lot of centuries ago building ships.
Yeah, and
it's
her
crazy.
name maybe you heard that also. It became something bad.
Yeah.
Later on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that, I mean, if you're a Kano,
Yeah.
you know, you're like, rough in the mouth and not a very pleasant person to be with. So that's sad in a way, you know, that's what left, you know, and not the great things that she did.
Because this is a strategy to minimize the women achievements, right? Making it's like the word bossy. And when you see, and that's exactly what happened to Canal, right? If you see some women leading, she's bossy.
Yeah.
But if you see men leading, he's assertive. It's the more cliche thing we can say about women leadership, but it still happened in the year we are publishing this podcast, 2026. So it's still happening.
I have a friend with a young girl. She's I think she's 8 now, and then she sometimes tells like, oh, she did this or she did that, and I said, yeah, she truly has leadership skills.
Yeah, exactly.
So I now gave her this book. It's called Bedtime Stories for Rebel Girls.
Okay.
And there are different versions from it.
Yeah.
And so every night before she goes to sleep, my friend reads her a story about, this is the Dutch version, of course, about a Dutch woman who did something outstanding.
Yeah.
And I really would like her to grow up with these positive role models, thinking, hey, I can be anything I want to be.
Not only be like a princess or someone to serve, or I know leadership is serving, but it's not only see women as part of the care economy. You see women part of innovation hubs. You see women part of maritime area. You see women in really, really, really high achievements in leadership. So this is my dream too.
Yeah.
Is there something that you would like to share from your personal story or from your experience at PortXL that can help women being more part of the innovation for the women that has a job right now and she want to become an entrepreneur into innovation? What's your main recommendation?
Yeah, I think one of the things that struck me most is, especially in maritime innovation, you don't have to be like really young and just come from university. So that, I think that's still a bias, you know, when you think about innovation, that it's all these young people. So we see a lot of people that are like in their 40s, 50s, and ran into something in their work life thinking, hey, why don't we have this yet? You know? So I would say if you come across something that you say, hey, this needs to be developed, just go for it. And here in Rotterdam, we have a big supporting ecosystem where we as PortXL, we are a part of that. But yeah, you're welcome to come to us, you know, and we're happy to guide you in the right direction. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you will be in the program. But we also all the time make meaningful connections for people towards subsidies, funds. If it's still a bit more early stage than what we normally work with, we guide them towards other initiatives that are better, capable of bringing them to the next level. And also, if they're more in the scale-up phase, we still have a good network of investors that we can present them to. Or if they need space, like production space, office space. So, yeah, we can basically be a first stop, you know, for them. And because that's often the most difficult thing, you know, where to start and who would be the best person to talk to. And also if they're looking for customers in a large organization, like who's the right person to talk to? So we help people with that also all the time. So I would say don't try to do everything by yourself. So quickly surround yourself with people that can give you the right support.
And the other thing I think it's important is to have a clear vision. Do you agree? Because it's more easy to sometimes find help than having and knowing what you want.
Yeah, definitely. So that's what we help startups with in our program all of the time. And then what happens often is that they present themselves with a certain solution, and we help them really finding the message like, but is this really a problem that you are solving?
Okay.
And whose problem is this then? Who's willing to pay for this?
Yeah.
So often you see that during the program this changes a lot. And yeah, also hearing no, that's also very helpful. So often we're afraid of hearing like this no, or this is not going to work, but it's all information that can lead you to tweak your solution in a way that it does resonate with a bigger audience.
Perfect. So, Christel, I must say thank you so much for your time. I know you're in a rush today. I know this place has a lot of movement, a lot of people. So I'm really happy to meet you and to have this opportunity to know PortXL, to know this space where PortXL is into it, and to see a brighter future, not only for anyone that wants to work in innovation, but there's a lot of opportunities for women, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so thank you so much for coming over. It's been a pleasure. Also for my colleague to show you around here.
Yeah.
And to all the women in Brazil, don't give up. Think about the Teflon, just forget about it.
Amazing.
It will pass.
Yeah.
And one of our alumni says, let the mission speak louder than a doubt.
Perfect. This is amazing. I will say that in Portuguese, to be clear, deixa a missão falar mais alto do que a dúvida. Assim como a frase que a gente abre sempre, Lendárias e Portuárias, você não pode ser o que você não consegue ver. São duas frases maravilhosas para mulheres que querem trabalhar com inovação. Thank you, Christel. Thank you for all the time and all the messages. I hope to come back soon.
Yeah, please do.
A metáfora de Christel sobre vestir uma roupa de teflon antes de sair todos os dias para batalhar para os seus projetos é algo que me faz lembrar de todas as mulheres em posição de liderança com quem eu tive o prazer de conhecer e trabalhar. Profissionais que desenvolveram uma segunda pele antiaderente que não deixa nada que não serve grudar em sua personalidade, nem desviar do seu objetivo. De tempos em tempos é importante que a gente limpe o casco do nosso navio, tirar todas as incrustações de críticas e preconceitos para poder seguir mais leve, navegar e conquistar novos mundos, novos espaços. E principalmente saber se reinventar. Assim como Katendrecht, em Rotterdam, região que desde 2021 não é mais considerada problemática. A área passou por grandes renovações e se tornou um dos bairros mais seguros e desejados da cidade. E é onde a embarcação SS Rotterdam está permanentemente ancorada e virou atração turística. O mais perfeito exemplo de que o casamento entre Porto e cidade é possível e necessário. Depois de rodar o mundo inteiro, a chamada A Grande Dama, o SS Rotterdam, agora é um dos pontos icônicos da cidade. E compartilhar histórias de mulheres incríveis é a grande missão do Lendárias e Portuárias, que nessa terceira temporada começou do outro lado do mundo. Mas no episódio que vem, a gente volta para nossa querida cidade, contando sempre com o apoio da Deep World, por meio da Lei Municipal de Apoio à Cultura Alcides Mesquita, o Promicult e o apoio da Habitat também. Deixa aqui seu like para que mais pessoas conheçam essas mulheres lendárias e portuárias. E também assina o canal, porque tem muitas outras mulheres incríveis para você conhecer por aqui. Até o próximo episódio!